May call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call Theresa Marchesee.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you will give in the cause now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
I'm going to ask if you can pull the microphone closer to you because it will help keep your voice nice and loud. Could you state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Theresa Marchesee, Marchese.
Where do you work, ma'am?
Washington, D.C.
For what company?
Tishman Speyer.
And what is your role at Tishman Speyer?
I'm a managing director in the Human Capital Management Group.
How long have you been with Tishman Speyer?
Over 20 years.
And what are your responsibilities as the director of the Human Capital Management Group?
A variety of areas. We focus on hiring, recruitment, benefits, employee relations, essentially the life cycle of your employment within the company.
And would this touch upon human resources?
Yes.
Now, what is Tishman Speyer's business?
Primarily real estate.
I'd like to ask you some questions about Ana Walshe. Are you familiar with Ana Walshe?
Yes.
When did you first meet Ana Walshe?
When I interviewed her in November of 2021.
And what position were you interviewing her for?
She had applied for a role in Boston, regional general manager role there.
And was Ms. Walsh subsequently hired?
Yes.
For what role?
I hired her for a role in Washington, D.C.
And why did you hire her for a role in Washington, D.C.?
We had a role open for quite some time. What we were looking for was someone who had a hospitality background, which Ana had, and I thought she would be better suited.
And when was she offered the job in Washington?
She started with us in February 2022 in Boston.
In Boston?
Yeah.
How long was she in Boston for before she transferred to Washington, D.C.?
I believe a month-ish.
Now, in your office space in Washington, and we'll try and let that pass. What's going on? In that office space in Washington, where was Ms. Walsh's desk in relation to yours?
We are in an open floor plan, and so there are 4 seats per quad, I guess. She was about 2 in front of me, I guess.
Now, when she moved to the D.C. area, did you learn where she moved to?
I did.
Where did she move to, roughly?
Friendship Heights.
And what was her compensation when she joined Tishman Speyer?
$220,000 base.
And on top of the base, was there a potential for a bonus?
Yes.
Now, did she receive any benefits as a result of becoming a member of Tishman Speyer?
Yes.
What did she receive as far as life insurance?
2 times her annual salary.
And what company provided that policy?
We did. MetLife.
MetLife, thank you.
Yeah.
Your Honor, at this point in time, the Commonwealth would enter into the policy, the MetLife life insurance policy for Ana Walshe as a stipulated to the agreement.
All right, we're marking it as 190, the MetLife policy for Ana Walshe. Now in evidence.
How much was the life insurance policy for?
2 times her annual base salary.
And are you familiar with who the beneficiaries were of the policy?
Yes.
Who were the beneficiaries?
Her husband and her 3 children.
Now, what were her responsibilities in working at the Washington, D.C. office for Tishman Speyer?
She was hired as a co-head of the property management group.
Okay. And so did she have specific properties she had to manage in D.C.?
She spent most of her time with us at the crossing, but her job was not just that building.
Okay. What other buildings did she have to manage?
Essentially, she had oversight to an extent. She shared it with her counterpart for all of our assets. So there were, honestly, I can't remember at the time how many we have. We're probably 5, 6 now.
Okay. Was there a building called the Mazza Gallery or Galleria?
So Mazza was a development site
Yes.
that we had. It was formerly a mall. Tishman Speyer purchased it under the grounds that we would redevelop, turn it into apartments and some retail.
And did she have any interplay? Did she have any responsibilities over that project?
Yes,
And you had earlier stated the crossing as well?
correct.
What type of building was the crossing?
The crossing was a residential apartment building.
Now, in 2022, did the Tishman Speyer offices in D.C. close for the New Year's holiday?
Yes. So New Year's, our holiday schedule rotates.
Okay.
But I believe New Year's Eve that year we were closed, or it was a floating holiday.
Okay.
And then New Year's Day we're closed.
Okay. Now, when was it the first day that people returned back to the Washington, D.C. offices, if you know?
January 3rd.
January 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, while you worked with Ms. Walshe, was there any problems with her as far as her employment?
No.
Were there any safety concerns for her as far as her employment?
No.
Did she require any physical accommodations while she was employed with you?
No.
When was the last time you saw Ana Walshe?
It was December. It was the 15th, perhaps. We had a women's event in the office.
And at this event in December, I think it was 2022.
Correct.
Okay. And what was her demeanor like at this event?
Normal, happy, social.
And did you see any injuries on Ms. Walshe when you were with her that night or that day at the women's event?
No.
Now, when did you first learn that Ana Walshe was missing?
January 4th.
And how were you alerted that Ms. Walshe was missing?
A coworker came over to let me know that her husband had called the crossing team looking for her.
So with this information, what did you do to try and with this information, what did you decide to do?
I said, I'll reach out to him. Do you have a phone number?
Okay. And what was the name of the person you tried to reach out to?
Brian Walshe.
Now, where did you go to try and reach out to him? Did you call him from your office?
I called him from my cell phone.
Okay. Did anyone did you have anyone with you when you called him?
Yes.
Who was with you when you called him?
The first time I called, Jeff Chod was with me.
Who is Jeff Chod?
At the time, he was the head of our Washington, D.C. office.
And you said you called from your cell phone. About what time did you call Mr. Walshe that morning, January 4th?
Between 10 and 11.
Okay. And did you connect with him?
Yes.
All right. Now I want to ask you about that conversation. What did he tell you in that conversation about Ana Walshe being missing?
So I called, I introduced myself, I let him know who I was. And I just said how, I understand you're looking for Ana, like how can we help?
Okay. And what did he tell you?
He said, so I talked to him multiple times that day.
Certainly.
So I believe in our first conversation, he stated he hasn't seen Ana since the 1st for New Year's Day. And he was looking for her and wanted to see if any of us had heard from her. And he specifically said, we have only gone 24 hours or more without seeing each other once. And the last time she was, I'm paraphrasing, but annoyed with me for, looking for her too soon.
Okay.
Essentially.
Now, he said he was looking for it. Did he say why he was looking for her in Washington?
Yes. He had said that there was a building emergency that she was called back for.
Were there any building emergencies in Washington, D.C. for the properties that Ana was managing at this point in time in January of 2023?
January of 2020, that date?
Well, between January 1st and January 4th of 2023.
I can confirm on January 1st there was not.
Okay.
I'm not sure about
All right.
second, third, fourth.
So, but there were no emergencies on January 1st.
Correct.
Okay. Now, you're having this conversation with him. Do you offer to do anything during this conversation to help?
Yes.
What did you offer?
I had stated, Ana had shared with me where she lives, and it's not too far from my home. I'm happy to go by and just check to make sure she hasn't fallen.
Now, what was his demeanor like during this first conversation?
He was polite and calm and nice.
And how long was the conversation?
A few minutes.
And after the conversation was over and you had made this offer, what did you do?
A coworker, the one who originally told me about the phone call from the crossing team, offered to drive up with me to the house. And so we did that.
During the conversation with Mr. Walshe, this first one, did you ask him anything about Ana's mental health?
I did.
And what did you ask?
I asked if she had any mental health issues.
And what did he say?
He said, no, we just had a lovely holiday, New Year's with friends.
So I take it at this point in time, you and the coworker went to Ana's home.
Correct.
And about what time do you think you got to Ana's home?
Between 10:30 and 11:30?
Okay. And again, it's your memory that's controlling. So now, when you got to Ms. Walsh's home, what did it look like from the outside? What observations did you make?
Sure. It's a townhome.
Yes.
And so there were steps up to the front entrance. And so if you walk up the steps and you look on the left-hand side, there was an espresso box that was out, and it was wet.
Okay. So there was a wet Nespresso box, and had it rained recently? What's this?
Yeah,
What would have affected? What was the issue of the wet Nespresso box?
On Monday and Tuesday it had rained, but on Wednesday it had not. So that led me to believe Ana had not been out of her home.
Okay. So
day or before.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So you see this. Do you have any further conversations with Mr. Walshe at this point in time?
Yes. So I notified him about the box. I saw a Google camera, like a doorbell camera or just a camera. And I asked him if he had access to it to check the records.
Did he have any access to it?
He said Ana is the tech one in the family. He does not handle that stuff.
And did you ask him about how to try and get inside the house?
So I remember I believe I turned the doorknob and I told him it was locked. And I looked in the window because there's a glass panel.
Yes.
And just to see if it looked like anything was broken into, and it didn't. The house was pretty immaculate.
Okay.
And so I walked down the steps and there was a garage there, and he said, I have the garage code if you can check.
So were you able to get into the garage with the code?
Yes.
What did the garage look like?
The garage was pretty clean as well. There were a few boxes and a painting.
And was there a car in there at this point?
No.
Besides the boxes, did you see anything as far as seats or anything like that?
Yeah, so I saw either a car seat or a stroller. I don't remember right now.
And now, inside the garage, besides these objects, did you see anything out of order, anything broken or anything like that?
No.
And was there anybody in the garage when you got there?
Was there anyone in the garage?
Yeah, as any
No.
person in the garage.
No.
And now we're going to compete with the heat. So I'm going to ask if you can keep your voice up. All right.
Yeah.
So were you able to get inside the house?
No.
Okay. Why couldn't you get inside the house from the garage?
I just turned the doorknob to see if that was unlocked, and it was in fact locked.
So now you can't get inside the house. Do you have any further conversations with Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, how are you calling him?
My cell phone.
Okay. And so now I want to ask you about the third conversation.
Okay.
When did this occur?
Either at my home, I believe was the third conversation.
Okay. And so what happened at this? So what happened between not getting into the house to the third conversation?
So on my way up to the house, I had spoken with our global head of security,
Yes. Who's that?
Hugh Dunleavy.
Okay.
He,
I'm going to ask you not to tell us what you and Mr. Dunleavy talked about,
Okay.
but that you had a conversation with Mr. Dunleavy.
correct.
Okay. After the conversation with Mr. Dunleavy, what did you do?
I conferenced him into our call with Brian.
Okay. So now I want to ask you about that call. So did you conferenced Mr. Dunleavy into a call with Brian?
Correct.
So you'd already called Brian before getting Mr. Dunleavy on the call?
Yeah, I believe that was the second call, though.
Okay, the second call. So let me ask you about that second call, because I might have jumped ahead. With this conversation with Mr. Walsh, what was his demeanor like in the second conversation
So when Hugh joined,
prior to Mr. Dunleavy joining?
he was polite and calm and nice.
And what did you tell Mr. Walsh about bringing Mr. Dunleavy into this conversation?
I had said, Hugh is ex-Secret Service, and you'll be in great hands.
And what was his demeanor like at that point in time in the conversation?
He it sounded like he was crying and said he needed a minute, and, very abruptly returned and said, okay.
And so at this point after that moment, what did you do as far as trying to conference in Mr. Dunleavy?
He was on the phone.
Okay. And so when Mr. Walsh was upset, was Mr. Dunleavy already on the call, or was it before he was on the call?
It was when he was on the call.
Okay. So that's when Mr. Walsh became upset, just so I have the timeline right?
Correct.
Okay. And what happened after Mr. Walsh composed himself in the conversation?
I believe Hugh and I started to ask him a series of questions.
Okay. Did you ask him anything about Ana's car?
Yes.
What did he tell you about Ana's car?
We asked the make and the model and the color. He told us it was a gray Volkswagen Taos. We asked about the license plate. He did not know the license plate number. We asked if she had an easy pass. I don't recall
Okay.
what he said.
Did you ask him anything about the house itself?
I did. We asked him if he was on the deed or the mortgage, and if we call the police, if he would be able to grant permission to let someone in. And I believe he said he didn't know if he was on he did not know if he was on the deed, but believed Ana was on the mortgage, I think.
Okay. And so did you ask him anything about how Ana traveled to D.C.?
I did.
What did he say?
So I had asked him myself without Hugh on our first conversation.
Yes.
When he told me that she had to leave for an emergency, and he told him she was flying to D.C. And I had said on American, and he said American or JetBlue. I'm not sure which one.
During this conversation with you, Mr. Dunleavy and Mr. Walsh, what did you ask him about calling hospitals?
So back to the second conversation, Hugh and I again asked him how Ana typically came to DC.
Yes.
And at that point, he said he didn't know if she drove, train, flew. And I believe he said he thought she flew. Then, proceeding to ask questions, we asked if he has called any hospitals. And I let him know that I had asked someone in our DC office to call the local hospitals in DC. And she had called Sibley, Suburban, and GW, George Washington. And Ana was not there, and recommended he do the same in Boston.
And what did Mr. Dunleavy say to him? What was the conversation of calling the police?
Towards the end of the conversation, when we were going through what, friends he may have reached out to, suggesting to call hospitals, Hugh had stated to hang up and call the police immediately.
And now, when was the next conversation with Mr. Walsh? Was this at your home?
Correct.
Okay. So this conversation with Mr. Dunleavy, this is part of conversation 2.
Correct.
Okay. So where did conversation 3 take place for you?
My dining room table?
Why did you go to your dining room table from the Walsh residence?
Sure. So after we hung up, I actually went to Starbucks first and called Hugh to say,
I'm not going to ask you what you said with Mr. Dunleavy. I apologize.
Right.
But what I want to ask is more or less like your movements and where you went. So you went to Starbucks and you had a conversation with Mr. Dunleavy.
Correct.
Okay. Now, after having your conversation with Mr. Dunleavy, where did you go next?
My home.
Okay. Did anyone go with you to your home?
My coworker that drove me.
Okay. So then you're at your home. When is it, how long are you at home before you have your third conversation with Mr. Walsh?
So it was close to 1 p.m.
Okay. And what was the subject of this conversation? Can you tell us about it?
Yes. I can't recall. I know I spoke 4 times to him. I can't recall 3 or 4 if I called him or he called me, or if Hugh had asked me to call him.
Did he mention anything about filing a police report?
Yes.
What did he say?
So Brian called me to let me know that he had just hung up with the police and they were filing a police report.
And did he say anything about calling Ana's friends or acquaintances?
Yes.
What did he say?
He mentioned he called someone named Alyssa and someone named Amdullah or Abdullah.
Okay. What was his demeanor like in this phone call?
Polite, calm, the same.
The same. Mm-hmm. What did he mention about private investigators?
At the end of the conversation, he had said his mother wanted to hire a private investigator.
Overruled.
Okay. And then, now, did you have a 4th phone call with him?
I did.
And about what time do you think the 4th phone call was?
I don't recall.
That's okay. And do you have any memory of the 4th phone call?
Yes.
Okay. What's your memory of the 4th phone call?
Give me a second.
It's okay.
At some point, I know was to text him Hugh's phone number.
Okay.
I know we were talking about the hospitals, friends, private investigator. Yeah, I to be honest, I don't know if the private investigator was on the 4th call or the 3rd, so we might have blended. Yeah.
Understandable. It's been 3 years. Now, ma'am, in addition to having phone calls, did you have any other ways of communicating with the person you thought to be Brian Walshe that day?
There were text messages.
There were text messages. Your Honor, may I approach with Exhibit 163?
You may.
Ma'am, can you take a look at Exhibit 163? It's 2 pages. It's front and back.
Okay.
Do those appear to be your text messages between you and the number that you thought to be Brian Walsh's?
Yes.
If you could just say that into the microphone.
Yes.
Okay. So, when you were texting him, and he was texting you, there was a reference to, in the last text, are there Tishman Speyer personnel in the Mazda building? Thanks. Did you respond to that text?
I did not.
So that was the last communication you had with Mr. Walshe?
Correct.
Now, were there any further phone calls after that?
After the January 5th text message? No.
Yeah, okay, exactly. So there's no further communication with Mr. Walshe after the January 5th text message?
Correct.
Had you ever talked to Ana Walshe about having the children in DC, her children in DC?
Yes.
What did she tell you about having her children in DC?
We talked a few times about it. I'd say the first time was when she was, taking the offer and moving. We
Yes.
would talk about different areas and schools. And she had said that she would probably bring them down. I think the first time was in the summer, which made sense when they get out of school.
And was there a subsequent conversation about the children coming down after the summer?
Yeah, so I believe in the summer or at an event, we had chatted, and she had mentioned to me that they'd be coming down in September.
And were there any further conversations after September about the children moving down to DC?
No.
Okay. Now, after seeing Ana Walshe at the women's event for Tishman Speyer in December, have you seen Ana Walshe since?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Last exam?
Good morning.
Morning.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically what you do, Tishman Speyer is in human resources.
Yes.
And what was it called before the jury?
Managing director.
Did I ask you to speak up before?
Managing director.
Attorney Tipton, can I ask you to speak up?
You certainly, I'm going to move back here.
I apologize, Judge.
And as part of your role as the Managing Director of Human Resources, you are responsible for, or your office is for keeping track of sick days and things like that of your employees.
We have systems that we use to keep track of days for our employees.
And one of the items of information that you provided to investigators in this case was Ana Walshe's information regarding 6 days she had taken, correct?
A document I provided? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes.
And that document only goes up to December 7th, doesn't it? It doesn't extend into the full month of December, does it?
I don't recall.
And do you recall that those that Ana Walshe took sick days beginning sometime in December 1st, and her reason for it was attending to her mother's surgery? Do you remember that?
I do not recall if they were sick days or vacation days.
Okay. In any event, did she ever inform you that she was going to go to Dublin?
No.
And so, as far as you know, in all the records you have regarding Ana Walshe, there's nothing to indicate that she ever went to Dublin, as far as you sit here today.
No.
Okay. And you mentioned the crossing a few times in your testimony. Can you just tell the jury once again, what is the crossing when you refer to that?
The Crossing is a residential apartment building that we own in Washington, D.C.
And how many units does it have? Approximately.
800?
Okay. And is it fair to say that the Crossing is considered to be pretty much kind of a high-end residence in the D.C. area?
It's your standard modern apartment building with amenities and a pool, rooftop pool. If that is high end, yes.
Okay. All right. And it's fair to say that you, if I heard you right, that were your offices at the Crossing?
No,
But you mentioned that you were at the Crossing at various times.
I did not mention that I was at the Crossing various
Okay.
times.
Then I misunderstood
I
you.
have been to the Crossing, yes.
Okay. And as part of your role as human resource and the managing director, you would be aware of the fact that if there were in fact problems at various buildings, wouldn't you?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Are you aware, if I may, Judge? When it comes to human resources, is it fair to say that if there's a problem with an employee's performance, human resources would hear about it and deal with it?
Correct.
And if, for instance, the tenants of a particular property that was managed by Tishman Speyer were complaining about something at the properties, and they were complaining about some of the management that was occurring at the properties, you'd hear about it, and you would be involved in trying to deal with whatever problem was being reported.
Human resources team would be involved. Me specifically, not a guarantee.
Okay, I appreciate that answer. You're aware of the fact that on or around October of 2022, there was a Legionnaire health issue that was raised by the Department of Health for the District of Columbia at the Crossing.
I had heard that there was an issue with Legionnaires.
Okay. And in fact, eventually at the Crossing, on or around October, November, and leading into December of 2022, the Department of Health of D.C. required that notices be placed at the Crossing informing the tenants that there had been 2 cases of Legionnaire's disease associated with the Crossing.
What's the question?
You're aware of that, aren't you?
I am not.
Okay. Are you aware of the fact that Ana Walshe was dealing with the Department of Health of D.C., dealing with this Legionnaire's issue that had been detected at the Crossing?
I am aware that as part of Anna's role, she would interact if this were an issue. I do not specifically know if she emailed, if she spoke to someone, if others were involved. Yes.
Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm just going to show you what's been marked for IDK.
Okay.
And do not read it, but I'm just asking for you to look at it and tell us if you've ever seen one.
So you don't want me to read it out loud, but I can read it to myself.
Yes.
Okay.
Review it yourself, but do not read it.
Okay. Is there something you want me to look for?
I'm going to ask you if
Okay.
you've had time to review it.
I mean,
And I'm not going to ask you details. I'm just going to ask you one simple question.
sure.
Have you ever seen that letter?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. You could have, but you might not remember.
Correct? Yeah.
And then are you aware that that is posted on, yes or no, posted on the Tishman Speyer website?
No.
Are you aware of the fact, and I'm just going to approach the picture. Are you aware of any tenant association meetings where they complained about the performance of Ana Walshe in conjunction with the information in that letter?
I am aware that there were tenant association meetings. I am not aware that they complained specifically about Ana.
Okay. You are aware, though, if I understanding your answer, that the tenants were complaining. You're just not sure if they were complaining about Ana Walshe.
There were quite a few complaints
Okay.
from the tenants for a variety of issues.
Okay. Dealing with the management of the crossing location.
Various things that happened at Crossing.
And does that include? Does that include an issue that arose in around the middle part of 2022, where the FBI became involved in the arrest of 2 residents living at the crossing?
What is the question?
See counsel at the side of the bench.
So just yes or no, if you can. Are you aware of the FBI becoming involved, and without going into details about it, the FBI being involved in some arrest of 2 individuals who lived at the crossing?
Yes.
Okay. And once again, that occurred when Ana Walshe was assigned to manage the crossing.
It occurred in April. I do not remember if Ana was physically there when it happened or if she came within a week or 2 of that, but she was working on that situation with us. Okay. Yes.
Now, there are certain benefits, employee benefits, that Tishman Speyer provides to his employees, correct?
Correct.
And we already know that you provided life insurance at 2 times their base salary, correct?
Correct.
And the beneficiary on this particular policy involved Mr. Walshe and the 3 boys, correct?
Correct.
Now, there's other benefits that accrue to the employees, like Ana Walshe, and it's health benefits, correct? Health insurance?
Correct.
And in fact, isn't it true that Tishman Speyer also offers to some of its employees a discounted rental rate at some of your properties if they choose to live there? They get a little bit of a discount.
Not 100% accurate.
Okay, tell us what, you explain it.
They're at the crossing, and perhaps, actually, I don't know all of the city's rules. At the crossing, yes, there was a discount provided to 2 employees, I believe.
Okay, so a discount provided if they chose to reside at the crossing.
Correct.
Okay, and there's also, with regards to benefits, and in your capacity as the managing director of human resource, that in fact you have to kind of set forth what you want as benefits for the next year, so to speak. And that usually occurs around November of the preceding year. Is that fair to say?
Open enrollment?
Open enrollment.
Yes.
Okay. And your policies state that if there is a qualifying change in status, then some of the things like the benefits that your employees receive, like life insurance or anything, something like that, that they can then change some of their benefits. For instance, they could change their beneficiary, they could change their health insurance, who gets health insurance, correct? They can change it.
You're referring to during open enrollment?
I'm actually, yes, well, let's start with that. In open enrollment, yes, I'm asking you that.
Okay. During open enrollment, you can make changes to your medical, dental, vision plan. Life insurance and long-term disability are typically, long-term disability is a one-time deal, typically, when you are hired. There are occasions on certain years where we may work with the carriers to allow employees to have another open enrollment opportunity. I do not recall if that happened in Ana's tenure with us. Life insurance is given to everyone upon hire. There is an opportunity to purchase supplemental life insurance. That is typically upon hire. And then there are some, similarly, we may do an open enrollment for it. And depending on your election amount, it may be automatic, or you may be required to do additional questionnaire. And then there are other benefits such as transit or different things along those lines as well.
Okay. Now, aside from open enrollment in that particular area, if someone needs to change something later on, they could only change it if there was a qualifying change in status event. Correct?
Qualifying life event.
Okay. And one of those events includes divorce.
Correct.
And it's fair to say that Ana Walshe never brought up, raised, discussed with Human Resources anything about what would happen if she got a divorce or anything of the sort.
Correct.
Sustained as to form.
To the best of your knowledge, Ana Walshe never came to Human Resources and discussed anything with regards to a divorce and her benefits that she received from Tishman Speyer. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sustained.
It's fair to say that Ana Walshe worked long hours.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
At times, we're not hourly, not everybody is hourly employees. Ana was not an hourly employee. At times, she could stay late or come early.
All right. And she would just be required to manage those properties. And sometimes she had to work long hours, I suppose, to manage those properties and deal with the problems with the properties.
She had a team on site to support. But there are occasions where I'm sure she stayed later or came early.
Was the first time you ever had a conversation that you recall with Mr. Brian Walshe, was that on January 4th?
Yes,
You had never talked to him before?
correct.
And to the best of your knowledge, Brian Walshe had never called Human Resources and asked about what benefits he had or to ask to change the benefits that Ana Walshe had, did he?
Correct.
You mentioned the name of Jeff Chod. I probably said that last name wrong.
Chad,
Okay. What is his role at Tishman Speyer?
he is no longer with the company.
What was his role in 2022?
He was the head of our Washington, D.C. region.
And did he, in fact, work with or supervise Ana Walshe?
Yes,
And would he be somebody that somebody might contact if they wanted to get in touch with Ana Walshe?
not necessarily.
But that would be somebody that worked with her and supervised her, correct?
Yes,
And to the best of your knowledge, do you know if Brian Walshe ever reached out and tried to contact Jeff Chod?
I do not know.
Was Human Resources and your team, were they also involved in assessing some employees' performance so they would be entitled to receive a bonus based on their performance?
You're asking if the HR team determines bonuses.
Well, let's ask it that way then. You can answer that yes or no.
The
If you
HR
can.
team is part of the process.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fair. And it's a better way of putting it. So let me ask you this. So Human Resources would be a process to evaluate someone's performance to make a determination of whether they got a bonus during a year.
Yes, there's a formal process.
And so complaints about poor performance would have a negative impact or a possible negative impact on someone receiving a bonus.
It could.
It could. And it would depend on what the complaint was and what everybody on this team considered and discussed, correct?
Everybody on the HR team
Yes. And
considered and discussed. It's a very broad statement. So are we focused on Ana or just our company?
your company policy in general. I'm not focused on that right now.
Okay. Then what was the question again?
That there's a team put together at Tishman Speyer, and part of their role is to evaluate whether someone's performance warrants them getting a bonus in salary for a particular pay period.
There are multiple people involved. Yes.
And so they evaluate the performance.
Compensation.
Okay. And Ana Walshe, being an employee, would also have her performance evaluated to determine if she would receive a bonus.
Yes.
Can I just have a second?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Any redirect?
Brief, Your Honor. The Friday after Thanksgiving, is that a holiday for Tishman Speyer?
It is a floating holiday, which means typically the corporate office is closed and those employees are not required to work, but there are people in property management and some hourly roles that may be required pending the building leases, essentially.
Could Ana observe that as a floating holiday?
Say that again?
Could Ana Walshe observe the Friday after Thanksgiving as a floating holiday?
She could, yeah.
Do you know if Ana Walshe received bonuses as a result of her compensation at Tishman Speyer?
She did.
And what type of employee was Ana Walshe?
She received, she was a good employee. She was on time or early.
Okay.
She,
And these various complaints from the crossing, did that have any impact on Ana's compensation?
from the tenants at the crossing?
Yes.
No.
What about the FBI raid that occurred within weeks of her starting? Did that have any effects on her? Or her perception as a good employee at Tishman Speyer?
Ana had nothing to do with that FBI raid.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Any recross? The witness may step down. Thank you.